It's going to be a really tense old evening.
They'll be facing a Millwall side
against Hull City.
Hull wonders this
with
season.
That last day draw against Norwich City.
On automatic promotion.
Come back against Norwich City, getting themselves into sixth place. It was a day, Lee Hendry, when Wrexham were in there at one point, Derby were in there at one point, Hull were in, then they were out, then they were back in again. It was a classic last day.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want to see, isn't it? When you come down to the last days, is that the teams that you expect to be in and around it, and it's not just straightforward, as you said. I mean, Derby were in there at one stage, obviously Hull was fighting there. Wrexham, it was three teams that were trying to get that final spot, and unfortunate for Hull City that they've been there for quite a long period. You felt it probably worked out in the right manner.
Well, here they come out into the arena. And listen to the noise as they emerge. Could be a humdinger on Humberside. Well, grey early evening skies over the arena, which is completely sold out. Millwall have travelled in numbers, as you would expect. Hull City fans have responded. It will be up around the high 24,000s, very close to capacity as the two sides meet each other. Of course, for the third time this season. Both games finished 3-1 in the regular season, but maybe not the way you would have expected it, because on both occasions it was the away team who won. Millwall 3-1 winners here, and Hull City 3-1 winners in southeast London. There is the owner of Hull City, Akron Ilyani, and let's have a look at the starting lineup, shall we? The Hull boss, Sergei Yakirovich, making no changes at all to the 11 which started that regular season final day game against Norwich, which secured this playoff place at the expense of Wrexham. John Egan's passed the fitness test. Ollie McBurney's been in great shape up front, 4 goals in his last 6, including those 2 against Norwich on that dramatic final day as they sneaked into the playoffs. Well, Millwall, managed by Alex Neil, a couple of changes for them to the 11 which beat Oxford 2-0 6 days ago. Derek Mazusako coming into the heart of midfield in place of Barry Bannon, who drops to the bench, and Josh Coburn returns. He had a little hip niggle. He replaces Mikhailo Ivanovic up front for Millwall, who finished 10 points and 3 places ahead of Hull in the final championship table, the regular season championship table. But that doesn't mean a whole lot now. It's about digging deep into reserves of energy and experience. Hull City in amber and black, Millwall in their change strip. The referee, by the way, Farai Halam, assisted by Alistair Nelson and Hugh Gilroy. The 4th official is Stephen Martin. How's everybody feeling, Lee Hendry, at this point?
I think these are nervous times, aren't they, for both sets of players, fans, because they know what's at stake. I mean, everybody wants to be in the Premier League, wants to be playing top-flight football, and this has been a long season in the Championship, as we know. So it just, the pressure, the vibes, these players will be feeling every inch of it.
Just saw a glimpse there of the Hull coach, Sergei Yakirovich. It's his 50th game in charge of Hull City. He's done such a wonderful job, really. And he has the backing of 20-odd thousand East Yorkshire folk here. Alex Neil will relish this. He has 3 promotions on his CV, and every time it's been through the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I think when you've got a manager who's got that sort of know-how and that understanding of where and how big these games are, it is a big advantage, isn't it?
It's Millwall who get us underway, kicking from right to left. Southampton and Middlesbrough, who are in action tomorrow lunchtime, will be watching on closely. Jake Cooper, the long-time Millwall skipper, is forward for this throw-in, which is launched into the penalty area, and that might be an early corner to Millwall. It is. It went out of play off the head of Charlie Hughes.
Well, they're going to have to get used to that Hull City, because that's what Millwall come as a package, don't they? If they can get an opportunity to throw balls into the box, whether it is from throw-ins or is it from wide areas, they will not turn it down.
So first minute corner kick, which comes in toward the near post. McBurney got a terrific contact on that. Excellent defensive header from the Hull City centre forward, but there are still 5 inside the Hull area here. Tierney Ballo is at the near post, well clutched by Ivo Pandor, the Croatian, in the Hull City goal.
Yeah, he's been a safe pair of hands, hasn't he, for Hull City. Ivo Pandor has to make sure that he gets that right, because he was waiting on that ball coming to his feet.
This is Balumi from the nice little back heel, cuts inside, cuts outside, great little run. Oh goodness me, what a fantastic bit of play. Magical.
That was absolutely outstanding. I mean, we haven't even got to the 2-minute mark, and now this is teed up brilliantly. Balumi's so good when he gets in these positions. Great little Cruyff, checks, turns, comes inside, probably should score. He does absolutely everything right. He gets that little back heel from near Miller. When he drives into the box, no one wants to go near him because he's trickery. And I tell you what, he's so close to putting Hull City 1-0 up. Would have been a bit of a save there, doesn't it?
Wow, fantastic feat. Great start.
I thought it would be end-to-end with both of these sides. They're not shy of going forward direct, playing into forward areas, but that doesn't mean it's ugly football. That means when they get into the final third, they know that they have class, both sides do, and then forward areas.
That's drilled forward in the direction of McBurney. Zach Sturge there, the Millwall left back, clipped on down the line. Cheer as the ball goes out of play, and Hull City have possession again. That's a great start to the game. 3 minutes played and glimmers at both ends.
It shows the intent of both managers and what's at stake, really. And you feel that Hull will certainly want to take some form of victory to Millwall, knowing that it will be a tough second leg, so having the advantage of being at home, you have to take the advantage.
John Egan got in, and it was just taken away from Joe Gelhardt. This is Kramer. He can play right back or right-sided central defender. He's quite comfortable in both places. The return from injury of Ryan Leonard means that Kramer's really dropped into that central defensive position. Sturge, he can advance from the left-back position as he is now. The referee gave it a little thought and says free kick. Sorry, I think the referee was Farai Halam. It's Gavin Ward.
Yeah, just going back to that Millwall are setting up. Just Kramer obviously playing centre half. I mean, it's down to injuries that Millwall have. Caleb Taylor would normally play back there in that centre half. I actually like Justin Kramer playing at that right back. He gets forward, he's very dynamic, but he's good defensively as well. That's why he can slip into that centre half role.
Sturge with a free kick that's headed away, and it's going to be a throw in to Millwall. Leonard is going to launch this throw. The mighty figure of Jake Cooper is lurking on the edge of the Hull goal mouth. It was in his direction, but he was actually going into the back of Ollie McBurney.
Yeah, I think obviously we look at Ollie McBurney, don't we, as a massive goal threat and what he produces in that forward area, but look at his defensive duties because his physicality, his height. I think he's going to play a key role in trying to keep Jake Cooper as quiet as possible, because, as I said, balls will be thrown into the box. That's what Millwall have been successful with this season.
Pando with the clearance away downfield. And there's a little bit of a coming together with Tieno Ballo and Louis Coyle. Matsusako in the midfield position ahead of Barry Bannon.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, Barry Bannon, I mean, you know, he's got quality, you know, that you can call on Barry Bannon anytime. For his execution of set pieces is absolutely outstanding. You only need to look at, you know, his past record of assists, because he's good on the football. It's a brilliant option. I think he's been a really good addition to that Millwall squad. Experience alone as well of where he's deep. And obviously when he's called upon, you know that you can rely on him.
Sturge with a little cushioned header returned to him. That's good play by Balumi, trying to dig it out at the expense of a throw. I wasn't sure if that effort from Balumi was saved by Patterson or hit the post. Well, a corner wasn't given, so it must have hit the post.
Yeah, I mean, it did look, from the angle we seen, it looked like there was a save from Patterson, which he said there was no corner, so possibilities of hitting the outside of the post was be more likely.
That's what you were just talking about. Nolly McBurney defensive header, lashed away with a left-footed volley by Joe Gelhardt. Patterson, who was part of the Sunderland side promoted in the playoffs last season, of course. They also have Tom Watson on the substitutes bench, who scored the winning goal, of course, for Sunderland and moved to Brighton in the summer, on loan at Millwall at the moment.
Yeah, I think both of these sides realised where they were at from that January window, and that's why you see they invest and obviously add strength to the squad because of where they are. I mean, you look at the Championship season, and if you're in the thick of things January, you know, you've got half a squeak, don't you? Particularly this season, I find it hasn't been quite as strong, because teams that we probably expected to be there took some time to really get going. The likes of Norwich, Sheffield United, you know, we see Ipswich come with a late surge,
Southampton, yeah.
So there's some teams that have really delayed that progress this season, which we've seen the likes of Hall and Millwall in the thick of things.
I think Millwall will be quite pleased with their start here. 8 played, 0-0. Matsusako. Here's Cooper. Well, if it was intended for Zach Sturge, I don't think he ever would have got there, but he never made the run.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Millwall are certainly impressed with the start that they've had, really started on the front foot, but I think this has been the story of Hull City season, really, is that at times they've just allowed teams to have domination of the football, but they've been pretty clinical in the far end of the pitch when going on these counter bursts that they do.
That'll be a physical encounter. And the great thing about the physical encounter, I imagine we'll get over 2 games between McBurney and Cooper, is that neither of them will complain about it at any point. They'll enjoy it.
Of course they will. That's what it's all about.
Coyle can take this throw for Hull City. Looking to win a head over Sturge. He might have just got a little bit on it, but back to Patterson it goes. Rolling forward by Hughes. Hughes then wins a header under a bit of pressure from Coburn. Hull City fans felt that Hughes might have been fouled. Referee didn't, Gavin Ward. The whistle has gone now.
Well, we're going to see quite a little bit of that this evening, aren't we? Gavin Ward's got to certainly have eyes in the back of his head a lot of the time, as most of these referees do have to have, having no VAR.
John Egan back to his goalkeeper. Egan again. Another one of those vastly experienced players, mainly of course with Sheffield United. Speaking of vastly experienced, Cooper's forward ball, and he deflects out to play off Mohamed Baloumi.
Both sides, when you look at the way they set up in formation styling, very similar sort of outfits, aren't they, in that sort of 4-2-3-1 formation. But you look at the three players that are sitting behind both, so Hull and Millwall. There's lots of class, isn't there, that can really turn a game on its head. And then you've got the two centre forwards, McBurney and Coburn, who are very similar to a certain extent in a real focal point, strength. Certainly a point that they can go and play off.
It's important that he has a good game because Aziz, of course, is such a game changer. Saka. Aziz with a header, almost got it into Coburn. It's come back to Negli, who carries it himself. It's a bobbler from Tierno Ballo that's well off target in the end.
Yeah, I think he's snatched at this. I really do, because they work it well here at Millwall. Not sure he's going to an absolute stunner out from there. Has to get everything right, doesn't he? Ballo, I think going to his left-hand side where he's getting a little bit of that support from Zach Sturge. Just having that vision and awareness. You've got to pull something magical out from that sort of range. You've got everything right to strike towards Pandora in goal.
Aziz off after this. Giles with him, keeping a very close eye, as you would.
He's got a job on his hands, hasn't he, Ryan Giles? Particularly when Aziz gets that ball to his feet, very direct. That's one thing I will say about Ryan Giles. I do like the fact that he likes to get forward. That's why he's always a big number of assists over seasons, but defensively I've always had a slight question mark. That's why I think all eyes will be on him. He knows he's got a battle on his hands.
Battered away by Patterson toward Coburn. Coyle's forward ball coming off the head of Crooks. And Pandora can see that one go well wide from Femi Aziz. But, you know, it's a sign of confidence to have a go from there.
Yeah, I think he's spot on. Why not? He struck it really well. And the question is, if it hits the target, it does put pressure on Pandora in goal.
He was sent off actually in the game at the Den between these two sides back in December, Femi Aziz, which Hull City won by 3-1. Oh, but Bernie's done well. Manzisako curtailed that run pretty quickly after McBurney had won the ball from Kramer. Patterson's ball away downfield, no white jerseys there.
Well, it's been a decent start. I think both sides really showing energy and enthusiasm. He wants to dictate and dominate the game.
Well, it's been well documented that they've gone through managers that have fairly swift rate over the last few years, Hull City, but they've hit upon Sergei Yakirovic here, bringing him in from Turkish football, Kayserispor. He's a guy who won the Championship and the Cup with Dinamo Zagreb. He's worked around various countries, including his home country of Bosnia. He's done a really good job.
Yeah, he really has. I think the likes of even Sayers, who was obviously that kept him up, Volta, Vasinia. You know, I felt that that was the name that possibly could go and take Hull to that next level, but that was quickly changed. Now you have Yakirovic who's in charge, and I think he's done a brilliant job. I think to see them in the playoffs this season, I think that's always been their target.
Yeah, and that is one of the greats of Turkish football, Fatih Terim, who probably his greatest achievements were with the Turkish national team. I think he took them to the semi-final of Euro 2008. Good little run by Liam Miller, gets a little bit of help. McBurney attacked it, didn't quite get the touch he wanted. He might have got a little touch, but not enough, but it's kept alive by Balumi, and that's straight into Patterson.
Again, it's working the wide areas where McBurney just doesn't get enough contact. Miller, and then Giles, he flashes that across. I mean, for me, Balumi's got to go and make that little bit forward movement, because that instinct's there, and might be a possibility. He could come on and just slot that home. He stood on his heels, if you like, and he reignites the attack, takes that strike right straight forward for the Patterson goal. Play from Hull.
Actually getting away from the challenge of Crooks. Did well to squeeze across in there. Ballo attacked it. Sturge is hoping he can do something with it, but he's going to need a little bit of help. He finds Mazusako. Cooper. Sonora back to Mazusako. He's very much the more defensive-minded of those two. He stops in between the centre halves, who split. Number 49, here's Cooper to Denora.
He's playing with a real tempo, isn't it? And real high energy.
Well, that was really well won. Here's McBurney. Got 5 in this counter-attack. Great little ball, chopping inside. Is it a penalty? Gavin Ward's not interested. And Joe Gelhardt cut back inside onto his left.
I'll tell you what, that was a big moment for Hull City. Squandered for me. Overload. Was it the right pass? Because he could have gone out to Liam Miller, who looked like he was in even more space. When you say when Joe Gelhardt gets on the ball, he's been outstanding since wearing a Hull shirt.
Slater's clearance didn't really do the job. That's a little bit better from Coyle. Mazusako has won it, and Slater trying to get Hull moving in the right direction. Crooks, Giles, McBurney's going to jump here, wins the header with Kramer, but Cooper there to tidy up. Not brilliant clearance from Patterson, but he found a teammate. Well, intensity and pace guaranteed on these occasions, and we've certainly got it here.
Yeah, we have. I mean, we're just approached the 19-minute mark, and it feels like this game has got so much more to offer. Lots that I've liked so far from both sides.
Aziz, Coburn, I think he's offside. Yes, he is.
This was the challenge, wasn't it, in the centre of the field, where Hull City went on that counter-attack. You can see what Gelhardt's doing, but he completely loses his footing. Kramer stands up really well, but could he have took that first time maybe? You can totally see where he wants to get onto that left foot and maybe just pass it into that far corner. I felt that Burnley had 2 options. He could have gone left to Liam Miller. Well, it was the Gelhardt pass that obviously seen his vision in his pass where he could just roll it into him. Probably should have done better.
Yeah, the slip was heralded by some Hull City fans as a foul, but the replay showing it clearly wasn't. Aziz and Coburn kind of leaving it for each other there. Josh Coburn takes over here. Well, 20 minutes played, it's been really enjoyable watch.
Yeah, how's Millwall dominating the possession stats with 67% there. And you do have to say that Millwall look the less lightly, haven't they?
Yeah, Hull dangerous on the break. That ball forward from Coyle finds Balumi. That's a really good challenge by Matthew Sacco. Here's Jack Sturge. Coburn holding it up well. And holding off Egan. Aziz looked as though Sturge was going to get in the way of Aziz, but he left it to him.
I think Louis Coyle as well, he just didn't know whether to make a challenge because of where that ball bounced. Once it bounces, it's in the attacker's territory, isn't it? That's where defenders make mistakes. But it's Aziz, he's not just standing out on that touchline on the right hand side, he's having that initiative to come inside because he knows that long pass might just fall to his feet as it does. He wins his team a corner.
Did flick off Giles. In comes the Millwall corner kick. Kamil Negli, Mazusako. Still plenty forward here. Ryan Leonard trying to get outside of Hughes and makes the block.
It's a big thing for Millwall, isn't it, as well? Just knowing how dangerous they are from set pieces. It's 26 goals this season. That's one thing that City will not want to keep giving these opportunities. A slight little tug there, Jay Cooper.
Yeah. Distance that they wanted from that, and just side-footed wide by Kramer. I think it kind of slipped out of Leonard's hands as he delivered that. Midway through the first half, Hull City 0, Millwall 0, first leg of the 2026 Championship play-off semi-final. The first of two, Middlesbrough and Southampton, are the other two contenders. Alex Neil got Hamilton Academical promoted to the Scottish Premier League, Norwich promoted to the English Premier League, Sunderland's promoted to the Championship, and every time it was the long route, the long and winding playoff road.
You know what, he's done a remarkable job at Millwall, hasn't he? And I think no one would have expected Millwall to be in the thick of a promotion, automatic promotion push. We do put that down to obviously the experience of Alex Neil. His recruitment's been really key, particularly when you feel that Millwall have never been a team of huge budget. Credit to him.
He took over right at the end of 2024, so he's kind of about 18 months into the job. They finished 8th last season, 3rd this. Their highest finish since the days of Mick McCarthy being their manager. In comes the throw, Kramer trying to nod it on, just too many Hull City jerseys about. Denora with a flick, Ballo, well, fell more kindly for Hull than it might have done. Gavin Ward ignoring the appeals of Balumi.
He's been good, Gavin Ward has, hasn't he? I mean, we know pulling the wool over his eyes for sure. He's letting the game really flow. You know, there's been a couple of maybe challenges that could have easily been pulled up, but he's kept the rhythm, he's kept the flow of the game.
Is Aziz. Gavin Ward was actually the referee when Aziz was sent off playing for Millwall against Hull at the Den. Sturge, Ballo. Oh, good little ball out. He swung his back at it and didn't really make any contact. It's cleared away for a Millwall throw.
I think that's been the difference, isn't it, with Millwall. I think they've just lacked that quality in the final third, particularly when they've had really good build-up approach play. I think that's why they would just tidy that up. There feels like there is certainly a goal in that Millwall forward line.
10 goals from him this season. It's the latest throw into Looper again. Cooper got his head on it. Mallow was trying to tee up an overhead kick. Kramer pokes it forward and it deflected to the gloves of Pandor, who gets Holt moving quickly with a delivery to Louis Coyle. Long-standing Hull City servant and Hull City born and bred Louis Coyle. It would mean so much to him to represent his hometown team in the top flight.
No doubt of that. Some player for Hull City as well, hasn't he? Still going strong. Right back roll.
Here's Egan. Cooper for Millwall. Ryan Leonard's forward ball. They counter-attack at pace. Coyle. Crooks. Sturge keeping a close eye on Bellumi, who finds Crooks. So a little bit short, but Giles manages to find Miller. Giles crossed into the box a little bit too close to Batterton.
He played some nice football, Hull City, with an end product, isn't there, where there's balls getting delivered into the box, but Alan McBurney, they're trying to flood the box, and that's where they look so dangerous.
Into Slater. Bellumi, that's nicely worked into McBurney. McBurney's pass. It's a shame Miller had made the run.
You don't mind that though, do you? Goes into Ollie McBurney. Lovely little triangle passes here. Movement. Ollie McBurney dropping a little bit deeper. And then just over. Cooks that pass into. Really good run from Liam Miller coming from that left-hand side.
Liam Miller, a Canadian international playing at club level under a Bosnian coach. Canada start their World Cup campaign at home to Bosnia-Herzegovina in Toronto. About June the 13th, something like that. They might have a little word about that game before they part ways at the end of this season.
Yeah, I'm sure so. Interesting.
What a signing he's been. Actually had a little spell in Turkey after he left, in Spain, sorry, after he left Sheffield United with Las Palmas. That's where Hull got him from.
He had a number of championship clubs that he wanted to get his signature. Preferred Hull. I think you can understand why. I think Sheffield United were very close to taking Ollie McBurney back to the club, but I think he was told he was going to be the main man in this Hull side, and he's been outstanding.
Yeah, 18 goals.
Brilliant.
Approaching the half-hour mark. With the throw for Hull City. Bernie. There's Sacco. Egan's forward ball. Cooper underneath it.
It's interesting just looking at both sides, set up and layout. Both sides are very, very deep. And you can see why there's going to be no balls that are going to be spun round into channels. It's more through this midfield area that I felt maybe someone could just control this football, get a grip of this game. There's so much space in there.
Here's Tenora. Leonard. Never used to be a right back, Ryan Leonard, but he does it pretty well actually. Denora. Coburn did well. The shot is deflected and Millwall will take the corner as it came off John Egan.
Yeah, he's so good in them positions. I'm not sure that Charlie Hughes really has to go and make that challenge, you know, just put some pressure on him. If you do lose your footing, which you did in that circumstance, that's where you're going to cause your own problems. Quite some weight from the goal. The 18-yard box, just force him back.
In comes this latest Millwall corner, the whistle's gone. Two Hull players prone on the ground inside their own penalty area.
Yeah, you see pushing, all sorts going on there, isn't there?
Leonard had a hand in the back of each of them.
Yeah, he took the two of them out straight away, didn't he?
Millwall relegated from the top flight of English football, pre-Premier League, it wasn't even called that then, in 1990. Finished fourth in the second tier in 2002, third this season, their best finish since. The only one of the four Championship playoff semi-finalists not to have played in the Premier League.
Oh, I didn't feel there's an awful lot in this. I think it might have just been that tug on the arm, wasn't it, that caused Gavin Ward to blow up.
Look at Alex Neil's reaction.
He must have felt the way I did.
Might have been a little push on Cooper. Referee didn't think so though. McBurney trying to get it wide to Miller. Has found Miller eventually. That's a nice little ball. If Strauss could reach it, which he could, but Patterson smothers it.
Yeah, again, another nearly moment for Hull City. McBurney just trying to pick out Leonard does brilliantly in the pass, but Ryan Giles got to do better for me. I know he's forced to the byline, but anywhere that's dug out or just cut back into the penalty spot, there's lots of City shirts waiting for that service to come into the box.
Leonard. Good block. Oh wow. Matt Crooks. It's a stinger. Only a little over 10 minutes of this first half still remain.
First half flew by, hasn't it? I mean, it has been end-to-end with slacking quality, both sides really.
Leonard with the throw. Miller with half a header away. Denora with a bit of a slice wide of Pandur's left-hand upright. It's their 9th playoff campaign, Millwall. Whilst he has been super successful as a coach in playoff football, they haven't actually. In 8 previous playoff campaigns, they've only won promotion twice to the Championship in 2010 and again in 2017, beating Swindon and Bradford respectively.
I think when you look at the squad that Alex Neil's got at this moment in time, I think this is a real big opportunity for Millwall to defeat all the odds and see themselves in the Premier League. I think they've got the squad, and I do feel that they've got that little bit of bite that the 4 teams that are involved might just need. They've been excellent this season, Millwall.
Down the channel from Denora, but straight out of play. Still a young guy, really. He only turns 45 next month, Alex Neil, but he's been coaching for such a long time. He's got such a wealth of experience. And he's only about 4 years older than James Milner.
Yeah, it's crazy to see, isn't it? I mean, as you said, it feels like he's been around for quite some time.
The free kick to the home side. Delivered by Egan with a mighty swipe of his right boot. Kramer got his head on it. Leonard too. Might have been a push in the back of Aziz. Denora. And Coburn. Got Negley running ahead of it. Ballo too. Denora here to his right hand side. Negley working, and this is a promising attack. Aziz will reach this. Suspected of the calf of Hughes. Away though. Denora. The challenge put. And Miller advances.
I think both sets of wide players have just not been able to affect the game, have they? I thought that they were going to be real key examples in this first leg. There was lots of time to go, but the likes of Liam Miller, Emi Aziz, Eluni, Ballo, they're the players that you feel that they can get the ball out wide to, and they can distribute that quality.
This looks interesting. Coburn to Ballo. That was an important block by Hughes. It's another Millwall corner though. A bit of room there.
I just wonder whether he could have maybe taken that a little bit further on. The space he's got. Ballo. Coburn does brilliant here. And maybe another yard that tries to commit. Charlie Hughes to make that challenge.
In goes the cross from the short corner. It's out of play. All the corners in this game so far have been Millwall corners, but the nearest we've come to a goal was that second minute effort from Mohamed Baloumi, which wasn't his, but this was the shot which he put into the gloves of Patterson.
And the first attempt was a real big opportunity to set the ball rolling for Hull City with that Baloumi effort. It's a little bit disappointing, is it, when you think about the match stats and the touches that Millwall have had in the opposition box, which is 14, but they've had no shots on target, and that just speaks volumes of where they're actually at in this first half. They have to up the ante, they have to up that quality.
Yeah, 8 attempts, none on target. Bernie is waving his teammates forward. Aziz header. Coburn, I think, was just pulling the arm of Hughes, but play goes on.
Tell you what, he's done well, you know, Josh Coburn. Every ball that's gone into him, it looks like he's going to stick. He's going to have the better of Charlie Hughes or John Egan. You have to utilise that strength and what he can produce. It's all about them influential players that play just in behind him. They're going to give him that support, and they have to up it.
So now Hull City with the opportunity for a long throw. Liam Miller's going to try and launch it. McBurney sniffing around, Crooks as well, as you'd expect. And it comes. Headed out by Cooper. Hughes swung his right at it. Lumi keeps it in play. Gets away from Negley, gets away from Fallow. Curls a shot, which was always heading off target.
Yeah, again, it's got to be one of them attempts. I know that everything opens up and he hears the big cry and the fans shoot. Got to be something spectacular to beat Patterson.
They have actually, in the regular season, lost 7 home games this season, Hull City. Millwall with a terrific away record, in fact the best in the Championship, 41 points and 11 wins away from home in regulation season. There's Sacco down here.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, isn't it, that Millwall have that brilliant record away from home. You'd think it'd be the other way around, particularly it's an intimidating place. That coming together there with Sasaka, who comes off the worst.
Second leg on Monday at the Den. I don't think they call it the new Den anymore. In fact, I was surprised earlier this season to see that there are plans in place to redevelop what I still think of as being a newish ground. Early 90s it was, they moved from the old Den, Cold Blow Lane, into what was then called the new Den. I think the plans are on the same site, but they're hoping they can redevelop it up to 30-odd thousand, which would be terrific. Probably need to be a Premier League club for those plans to be fully implemented. It's often the case that they're in place but don't come to pass unless they're kind of established.
It shows where the club's going, doesn't it? There's some fabulous players, and that's been down to their recruitment. As I said, they haven't had a huge amount of budget, have they? But I think the Premier League would be absolutely so good for the club to really take them to that next level.
Cooper got a little flick on, but he fouled John Egan. City, of course, also a club that play in new surroundings. Their Boothry Park ground is now just a fond memory. Foul, Cooper on McBurney, but Crooks might be able to create something here. Liam Miller just took it too far.
He's usually very, very good, Liam Miller, when he gets in them positions, 1v1 duels. It is just the frustration there, isn't it? Kurovic looking, knowing that a little bit of quality, likewise with Alex Neil. Whether that's down to the occasion of how big the game is, someone just having that little bit of confidence just to relax on the football, just to really dictate them. Sort of areas where they've got in so many good times and just not produced.
Negri here. Headed away by Hughes. And we're just edging into added time at the end of the first half. 1 minute will be added on, that's all, so we're almost halfway through that already. Cooper can get his head on this, then chaos may ensue. Little deflection on that cross. Coburn was being shielded from it by Crooks, and that meant that Pandor could afford that little wriggle out of his hands because he wasn't under any pressure. Coyle trying to get him behind Ballard. Referee Gavin Ward says that'll do for the first 45 minutes. It was off the outside of the post from Mohamed Baloumi very early on in the game. Saw a later effort saved by Patterson. Coburn has led the line well, but Millwall have struggled to turn territorial advantage into shots on target. And at half-time in the first leg of the playoff semi-final, Hull City 0, Millwall 0. It's Hull City from right to left in the second period. They had the better chances of a tight first half, though most of the other statistics in the game were in Millwall's favour. And off we go. Gavin Ward's whistle. Hull City gave themselves a moment before reacting to it, but Lee Hendry, that was tight first 45 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, I expected it to be very cagey. I think, the start of the first leg hasn't got to be won, has it, this evening? And that's where I think that both sides found themselves some really cagey situations. Did lack the quality I felt in final third. There was some really good moments for both sides. So I just wonder whether what was talked about in both changing rooms, can it be better in the final third? As I said, I feel that Paul will want to try and take advantage of being at home, try to take something to Millwall that can really force the issue. So I do feel that I might expect a little bit of a different second half.
Yeah, they'll want something to defend on Monday night. Cooper goes long for the visitors. Alex Neil's Millwall. Nodded down into Aziz. That's a good ball. Sturgill hit this. It took a deflection off Egan and actually just lifted up nicely for the goalkeeper.
There's been a lot of them. Moments have been very similar, haven't they? Where everyone's picked it up or it's gone into a wide area where the fullback or one of the wide players that took a strike on and defensively blocks have been really key.
Referee playing advantage here. The left-footed shot from Camille Negri was charged down. Mazu Saka did well actually. Going on to Cooper, who's given it away. Well, Cooper definitely lent into him there with his left arm. Not given by the referee.
Yeah, it does seem that at times that Ballooney's gone down. It's whether Gavin Ward is trusting what he's actually doing. I mean, it did look to me like Cooper had just lent across him. He looked like he was going to have the pace to go by Jay Cooper. Again, Gavin Ward not having any of it.
Maybe feeling there just wasn't quite enough there for him to go to ground in the way that he did. Trainer back to his goalkeeper. And Patterson clears the way downfield. A little bit of room here for Ballo, but his first touch wasn't quite good enough. Invited the challenge of John Egan, and Egan's come off worse here. Better first touch there, and Ballo might have been able to do something.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at the ball into Josh Coburn, who does brilliantly again, doesn't he, just to bring that down and bring one of them attack-minded players into the game, which was Ballo. We should do better again. There, just overruns the first touch, gets away from him, and then he's always stretching, and that's where Egan takes advantage, defends it well, comes off the worst.
He's been around the block a few times. Clearance away downfield. Coburn under pressure from Hughes, couldn't quite retain possession. Crooks has dragged that inadvertently out of play for a Millwall throw-in. Crooks, that's a nice looking ball for Miller. Shame. Good job up there, doesn't he? Holds it up well.
think he's done brilliantly. I mean, he does back into views that's really, we have to look after him, and that's where John Egan clears up and has that experience. But he's done brilliantly the way that balls have come into him, and he's just has that strength to just back in and attacking players involved.
So he's trying to control the ball on his left thigh, but it's bounced out of play for a Hull City throw-in. Miller trying to creep in behind. Leonard was diligent. Giles' header. Now they've got it to McBurney on the half turn. He's done well. Coyle's hit. Oh, might have been a little deflection. Certainly struck it well.
Didn't he just took the initiative to drive into the space, and then it's all about his technique, isn't it? It's always rising though. It's not a million miles away. Also a slight touch off. Would have been one or two of the Millwall players, but that rise was always just going away from goal.
But again, you know, it's still a bit more evidence that Hull are probably asking more questions in terms of actually efforts at goal in this game, even though Millwall are, you know, certainly territorially holding their own at least. In fact, Millwall have had just over 60% possession, but it's Hull who've done a bit more with a bit less.
Yeah, it seems that way. I think both sides are pretty direct in the way they set up. There's no doubt of that, and that's why they utilise the two centre forwards, if you like.
It's correct. Looked like a foul by Granora, and Gavin Ward thought so too. The free kick to Hull City, and it's the first yellow card of this playoff semi-final, and it is dished out to Millwall's Belgian midfielder.
Yeah, well, I think that was quite an easy one, wasn't it? Because Brooks has just got in front of him and then tries to jump on his back almost. And he's getting away from him, which right in front of Gavin Ward, quite easy for him to put that first name in the book.
So Hull City with this free kick, just one goal tonight could be so precious for either side. You feel there won't be loads of goals. Headed out by Mazu Sakho from Giles' ball into the area. Crooks tried to cushion it for Giles, but he's not happy.
I can understand why. I mean, you get so many bodies in the box, you've got a trusty left foot in Ryan Giles, and he hits the first man. I mean, it's got to be better, hasn't it? And that's why his teammates are furious, because they know he's got quality with that left foot that he can produce and deliver into the box. That's just not good enough.
Nice back heel, Crooks to Miller. Inside Mazu Sakho. There's that final ball lacking quality again.
Far too many times. And that's a really golden opportunity for someone like Liam Miller also, who's got quality when he turns and cuts back onto that right foot. You can see the frustration, can't you? Because he knows you're not going to get loads of opportunity where it's carved out, where the wide man can put good delivery, good service into the box.
Sergei Yukurovic was chuntering away to his assistant Marko Salatovic. This is interesting, however, because they can get forward here. Crooks, Coyle, Crooks. Well, it's kept in by Miller, or should be. No, it's not.
Again, guilty. Providing poor quality. Crooks this time. The thing is, there is a patient approach about Hull City. But that's where you have to have your utmost concentration when you're in them wide areas. 3 really good opportunities to put good delivery, good service into the box. Just gone begging again.
The last club to finish 6th in the Championship and then be promoted through the playoffs is to go back a fair old way, actually, for Blackpool under Ian Holloway in 2010.
The stats that surround the playoffs are absolutely remarkable, aren't they?
I can think of so many, particularly in playoff finals, just memorable goals, games. Clive Mendonca all those years ago for Charlton. Steve Claridge shinning one in the 120th minute. What will we get this year?
I wonder when those managers might just have a look round at the bench and see what might be able to just change this game. So that there hasn't been the rhythm and flow that we had in that first half.
Touchdown from Aziz. Out to play from Hughes. And Leonard's going to take this throw in. Negri hasn't seen an awful lot of the ball, actually. He's clipped that away to Sturge.
It's interesting you mention that. I'm just thinking exactly the same thing, but you can also say the same about Joe Galhart, can't you? I feel like the 2 number 10s have just been non-existent in this game.
Yeah, they've been a bit peripheral. Talk about making changes. The Steve Claridge back in the day. It was the Crystal Palace Leicester playoff final. Martin O'Neill was the Leicester manager. He just brought on a 6'7" goalkeeper. I can't remember his name. Croatian, I think, for a penalty shootout, which he assumed was about to happen. And then Claridge from the edge of the box off his shin pad into the top corner.
I'll tell you what, he could come up with some big moments though from this Steve Claridge.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he was scruffy, but he scored goals.
It's a free kick to Millwall. Aziz, left-footed, bit of pace on that. It's dangerous, that. Denora will have to go and retrieve it, and he can't quite get there.
There's been, I guess, a bit of quality that we've seen delivered into the box. It comes from Demi Aziz that produced that all season, but I have to credit Hull here, really on their game defensively, knowing that those are threat from set pieces. Dealt with a lot of balls that have come into the box, whether it's been quality or not.
Nearly an hour played. Deadlock remains unbroken. Coyle. Balumi, Sturge is with him. Good pace from Balumi. He's been as lively and probably livelier than most tonight. No foul given there. Definitely got something, hasn't he, the Algerian?
Yeah, still can he be a bit stronger when he's got control of the football? I mean, so many times he's gone down and he's looking for that free kick, isn't he? To me, it wasn't a free kick, and I think it looks like he's got the speed to actually go by. Sturge.
Hughes header. Denora. Cooper. Pointing where he wanted the pass to come. He wanted it a little bit earlier, and Crooks made the challenge. Good one as well.
He's been excellent, actually. Matt Crooks in midfield. He's got real hunger and bite about his game this evening. I know that that's usual for him, but he rolled out key positions defensively and in the thick of a battle. And I
I'm pretty certain that both managers will be just thinking about how they might be able to influence this game from the substitute bench at the moment. Here's McBurney. And Miller in the middle. Miller's little layoff. Well, could he have turned and gone for goal? Doesn't matter, offside anyway.
Well, McBurney took his time, didn't he? I mean, this is one that I want to look at because, I'll tell you what, this could have easily been a penalty as well. I think that's what Liam Miller was actually implying to Gavin Ward. I mean, is he offside? Yes, he just steps off, but you have to say, I mean, there is a slight swipe at the ankles there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That could have easily led to further things. Luckily, Liam Miller was in an offside position.
And actually the half visible lines of the rugby league pitch helped the referee's assistant there, because he was right on that line.
Yeah, spot on.
Hull FC, or Hull Rugby League club, play in this stadium. Okay. He struggled to get into it, Joe Gelhardt.
Yeah, he's been really effective for them this season, scored a lot of goals, and amongst their forward play, I just feel like both and two number 10s just haven't been able to get amongst the game any support. It might need one of very balanced quality just to come on and really just grab the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah.
Bit quality.
The guy alongside him is a playoff winner, Alfie Doughty, part of the Luton side which beat Coventry 3 years ago. Denora. Leonard. Stray balloon has been knocking around for quite a while. No one's got time to tread on it. Here's Mazusaku. Sturge. Held up but not dispossessed by Balumi. Someone has just trodden on it. Well, to be honest, Tristan Kramer got a bit overexcited there, and Alex Neil's face tells you what he thought of it.
Yeah, totally. Wrong choice, particularly when you've had a lot of possession building up, patient. It does open up in your eyes, like, don't you, when you get into that sort of 20, 25 yards out, you feel that you can go and take that shotgun. I'm not sure. Phil was overly convinced with that at all.
He didn't actually say the words, but you could see that in his mind he was thinking, what was that? Here's Denora. Cooper. Patterson, who is still on loan at Millwall from Sunderland. Coburn in a good battle with Hughes. A bit of his jersey, but Coburn's done well. Denora sent it wide to Leonard. And that's seen behind by Matt Crooks. I think he might just be making the point to Gavin Ward that he felt his shirt was being pulled there.
He did well again though, didn't he, to just get control of the football. Mills get high at the pitch. I just wonder who's going to make that first call.
Yes.
That's the question.
Yeah, who's going to show their hand first?
It's usually around the 60-minute mark you start to see a little bit of movement.
Leonard. City have to throw it.
I must say, I've seen quite a fair bit of Millwall this season, and this isn't quite the performances I've seen. I know we're talking about a completely different situation away from the league. Certainly haven't been anywhere near the Millwall I've seen this season.
But if they go back to home turf all square, they will not be unhappy with that. Coyle did well to squeeze it into the area, but Cooper's there. Coburn, and only Coburn. He's done well, he's done really well. Can get it wide to Tierno Ballo. And Gelhardt's done excellent work there to hold, to chase back.
Yeah, standing from Joe Gelhardt. You just witnessed that there was a slight bit of danger on the horizon.
And to be honest, the longer the second half has gone on, the less likely a goal is seen.
Yeah, it feels that way. So I just feel that there's been some good bits of play coming from Coburn. I feel that three in behind have just not really matched up to that, have they?
Offside. Well, we are going to get some changes. It is Sergei Yakirovich who is blinking first, if that's what you want to call it, because Yu Hirakawa and Kyle Joseph are coming on, both forward players. Joseph has 8 goals this season. McBurney might be feeling that it's his number which might be going up. Oh, that's well won. Mohamed Baloumi. Gelhardt, just ricocheted away from him.
Nearly a moment there where everything just seemed to open up for Hull City. He's definitely on top.
But the game may stretch as we get later into it. Here's Aziz. Very comfortable for Pandor in the Hull City goal. And we are right now midway through the second half of this first semi. Aziz. Negli. Hustled and carried by Slater, finds Cooper. He might have a go, he does, and he's hit the outside of the post. And both sides have now hit the woodwork.
Yeah, that looked very close. I thought that he was always going wide, but the initiative to really drive into that space just comes off the outside of the post, doesn't it? It takes the cleanest strike, doesn't matter. Not a million miles off. We're getting the lead there.
Well, it certainly opened it up for him. You could see why he would go for it. So, Liam Miller will shake of the head. Too pleased to be replaced. But Baloumi and Miller, the two wide players, replaced by Hirakawa and Joseph. Here comes McBurney getting it wide to Hirakawa. That's a good cross, and McBurney attacked it, and he got a touch on it too, but not quite enough. Hirakawa, an instant impact.
Absolutely outstanding ball. I thought he just pushed it a little bit too far, but he digs it out absolutely perfectly. And then McBurney, I mean, you have to give credit here to Jay Cooper. Just comes across, just puts him off slightly, but as we know, anything towards target, that far post, inches away from going in.
Do you know what, in the context of this game, that's a really big opportunity.
Yeah, big opportunity for McBurney. He knows that himself.
Geno Ballo gets it wide to Sturgeon. Haven't seen him get forward down that left side all that much. It's lifted away by Regan Slater for Hull City. McBurney here in a tussle with Mazusaka, which he's lost. Sturge, Ballo, good block challenge by Crooks. Could be a free kick. And it is.
We touched on the quality of both sides not really producing. And that's all seen Bannon getting his pads on him. Himself game ready. That was brilliant though, wasn't it, from Hirakawa?
Cooper's missed it, and then got the second opportunity to jab it away, which he'd have been grateful for. Hirakawa in field. Slater. Coyle. Might have just flicked off somebody's arm, but Hull have the ball. Play goes on. Coyle. McBurney again attacking it. This time Tristan Kramer, who is in the right place. Nice to see that little handshake between them.
Yeah, he knows that. Tough evening defensively. And the attacker there, McBurney, just giving him a little slap.
In a friendly way, I should say.
Yes, of course, yeah, high five slap. Yeah. Well, yeah, great defending from Kramer.
Gelhardt. Well, Millwall are going to respond in a sec. Well, they've got some defending to do first, and I don't think Alex Neil will make the change while they've got Hull City in their faces here. Louis Coyle with the opportunity to deliver. Crooks trying to get underneath it. It's a good header that by Leonard. Slater. And McBurney again. He's getting closer. They're getting more balls into him for a start off. They're giving him something to work with.
Yeah, this one's just a little bit too deep for him, isn't it? It's Egan that finds himself a little bit higher up the pitch. Again, so close to McBurney, just relishing them balls and that delivery into the box.
Yeah, so Barry Bannon, who is 36 years old now, is going to be coming on. To Nora, who is on a yellow card, makes way. All the nous and experience of Barry Bannon coming into play, and that's a pretty common sense decision, you would say. And Luke Cundle is also coming on. Joe Gelhardt, firstly sent in an attacking sense, has struggled to get heavily involved in the game, is also replaced, and Kieran Dow, who is almost a perpetual substitute for Hull, comes on for him. So, throw in Millwall, 16 to play. Hull have made 3 changes, Millwall 2. Ryan Leonard with this throw in. Ballo and Denora with the 2 Millwall players to go off. Bernie might have gone out to play off Aziz, but it did. It's a Hull City throw-in. Barry Bannon's forward ball. Coburn. Oh, Aziz, that's a good effort and a really good save by Pandor. I think it was Luke Cundler who was very close running across that. If he'd got a touch, might have made it unsavable.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the first moment we've seen that quality again. Josh Coburn's been brilliant in that forward area. Demi Aziz hasn't really had the opportunity. You can see the one he just touched on. Luke Cundler, could he have got a touch? Could he have slid? It's a good save though, isn't it, from Pandor in goal. Big hand away, making sure that he isn't going back into the danger zone.
Well, that is by a distance the toughest thing the Hull City goalkeeper has had to do so far tonight. It's a good save, that.
Yeah, really good save. It's a good strike as well, was it, from Femi Aziz. He was always zipping and bouncing off the surface.
Kramer inside the last 15 minutes of this very tense, very tight first leg of the playoff semi-final. And you can understand why it would be tense and tight. 9 months of work have gone into this. Saka, Aziz. Appeals, but no whistle. Bernie, Yuhirakawa. It's gone off Mazu Saka, but it's gone where Hull wanted it to. Oh, and Giles' little curling ball. I thought he was going for the near post then.
I actually did as well from our view. He looked like he was just going to try and drill that with that little bit of dip towards the near post, try and catch Patterson out in goal.
Famous forward ball, Ryan Leonard. Nigley looking for a free kick, twisting his own legs in the opinion of Gavin Warden. I think the ref got that right. Crooks outside of the right boot. That's a decent looking ball for Joseph. Joseph straight into Cooper. I'll throw though.
You feel like there's going to be a big chance, don't you, in these latter stages? Has to be, don't there? You really feel that the tightness might just creep in.
Mazu Saku to Negley, 4 forward here for Millwall. And it opens up for Kundle. And Negley! Well, that was a very dangerous looking counter-attack momentarily.
Yeah, it really was. Negley at the heart of it. Just gets sent on his way to Saka, and then it's a 4v3. And just look at the run from Josh Coburn. He tries to create the space for Kundle, and then it's all very tight, compact, as Hull have done all evening. They've really put the pressure on when the key moments have certainly had to come around, particularly with the blocks and the squeezes.
He's dispossessed. It's McBurney. No foul. Referee Gavin Ward has really let it try and let it go tonight. I think he's refereed it really well. Here's Josh Coburn. That's an important challenge by Coyle.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he's really let the flow of the game go, hasn't he? I think there's been a couple that could have easily been pulled back.
Here is Coyle. It was Egan who made the challenge. Beg his pardon. Not giving him the credit that was due. Well, the last 10 minutes is going to be a real nail biter in this first leg. faces out there, and you can understand why there would be as we edge toward the last 10. Alfie Doughty is going to come on. And off the ball coming together between Cooper and McBurney. Both capable of dishing it out, both capable of taking it, I think.
I love a bit of that, don't you? There's a battle going on.
McBurney is continuing his conversation with the referee's assistant about that foul not being given. And the referee, I think, is going to show McBurney a yellow card for dissent here. He's certainly going to have a word. I think he's going to be calmed down. You can literally gadget board saying, and he could easily have got a card out there, but he hasn't.
Again, he could have easily put McBurney into the book there. Oh, the fact how good his referee this game, I really do give him credit where credit's due.
Yeah, Zach Sturge coming off, Alfie Doughty coming on. Saying earlier, part of the Luton side have been Coventry in the 2023 playoff final at Wembley. When Mark Robins came so close, he was Coventry manager for such a long time, and even though Frank Lampard's taken up the baton and got them into the Premier League, I think Mark Robins deserves a bit of credit for what was built at that club over the years he was in charge.
Unbelievable reign, didn't he? Coventry manager, good things for that football club with, as you said, maybe some tweaks and different ideas that have in the Premier League now.
Well, Bannon's ball to Negley, that's that bit of quality they've been looking for. Aziz cuts inside, and Crooks made an important block. That's why they wanted Barry Bannon at Millwall, because he can still do that. Come on City is the call from the home fans. Not a bad flick that, but if he didn't read it as quickly as Crooks did.
So like the changes that Still's made, all that little bit of an edge going into the closing stages. A lot better. Quality's just gone up a notch. Bannon's on there, but it's a Cundle Doughty now.
Yeah, Cundle now playing where Sturge was, as kind of attacking left back. Mazusako. Here's Cundle. Hoiked forward, but cleared away. Barry Bannon. His first touch wasn't good enough. Giles was tight.
Yeah, he's had a poor game for me, Aziz. Just look at the quality that Bannon possesses there. First touch, his awareness. He wants to get the ball out wide to Aziz. Brilliant. So much pace on the pass.
Nearly 500 games, of course, for Sheffield Wednesday. Barry Bannon, 30 of them this season before he joined Millwall. In comes the Leonard throw. Went the McBurney head. Leonard tries again, looking for Coburn. Crooks was with him. Aziz. Blocked by, carried back in by Aziz, and in the net! whistle has gone. The celebrations are curtailed almost before they began. Ryan Leonard put the ball in the net, but it was instantly ruled out.
I'll have a look at this, to be quite honest. He has 2 attempts to put the ball in the box, and taking these are coming together. In that 6-yard area where that ball's played in, you can see there's a shirt tuck, but is it enough to be granted?
Yeah.
Free kick, I think that's a real harsh decision, I really do.
Well, referee was in no doubt. Josh Coburn is coming off here, and on comes Mikhailo Ivanovic for what remains, which isn't a great deal. Well, Alex Neil will certainly be looking at that on his iPad.
Yeah, I mean, initially it happened, I actually felt that there wasn't enough contact. I mean, I'm not sure that there is. I think they're both definitely going at it. And I'll tell you what, I don't think that's a foul. I really don't. We've touched on Gavin Ward having a good game. Yes, that shirt tuck, isn't it?
That's what it is. Yeah.
Is the one from Kramer.
Yeah.
Obviously, Gavin Ward's flag highlighted.
Yeah. From that, and that's the angle you want to see, isn't it? And that I think justifies the decision.
Yeah, I'll take it back. It's a really good call in the end then from Gavin Ward, wasn't it? Because, as you said, it's clear as day that from that angle there was a real shirt pull.
He's made fewer mistakes than some of the players, you would say. He's had a good night, the referee. Here's Bannon. 3 minutes to go. Masasako. Tristan Kramer with the forward ball around the corner from Luke Trundle. Slater. Hull City want to make another substitution. See, from that angle it looks a bit like 50-50, doesn't it? From this angle,
you can see, can't you? I mean, they're both active, but it's that tug back that just stops him from maybe making an interception from the ball coming into the box. So it's the right call.
Yeah. Good decision that. Lundstrom is on loan at Hull City from Trabzonspor, the Turkish club, to just try and keep things tight in that midfield area. With the chase, Louis Coyle. Straight swap, Lundstrom to Slater. Well, it looks very much, Lee Hendry, as though we're going to be going to Bermondsey, South East London, all square.
Yeah, it looks that way. Unless we have something dramatically happen in the closing stages of this game. I just wonder who will be the happy. I'm pretty sure it'll be Alex Neil. He knows that his team have probably not been anywhere near their best. Djurjevic, who will think that this game's wide open, it hangs in the balance. They've been there and got a result previously this season.
Yeah. Albeit in a game in which Millwall ended up with 10 men after Aziz was sent off by our referee this evening, Gavin Ward. Leonard, who thought he'd scored momentarily, takes the throw in. Cooper. Hughes header. Bannon beaten in the air. Cooper again. He's had a good game. Ivanovic, and it's gone behind for a corner kick. It was a good turn that by Mikhailo Ivanovic, and it slammed into the shoulder blade of Hughes.
I feel this has been a bit of the story of the evening. Shots from outside the box and blocks again defensively from Charlie Hughes. Smashed off the back there with that strike from Ivanovic. They pull something out the back here. 4 minutes added.
What a time to score this would be. And if you were to put a sixpence down in that penalty area and pick someone to land the ball on it, Barry Bannon would be your man. In comes the corner kick, headed out by Coyle. Millwall, no. Hull City throw was deflected back onto Negri off Crooks. So, into the last 3 minutes of time added on at the end of the first leg. Ryan Giles to take this throw in for Hull City. Crooks. A mighty roar from the home supporters as Joseph delivers across, which McBurney does well to get on, and Hirakawa couldn't. Mazusaka away. Lundstrom wins a couple of headers. Giles. And into Millwall throw-in as Eve made the challenge, and it went out of play off the whole man.
They've definitely teed the second leg up quite nicely, I would say.
Well, I think
that's for many of these who probably haven't had their best game. The number of quality on both sides just haven't been quite there. I think it's been more of a physical battle for both sides, and I think they've both cancelled each other out, haven't they?
yeah. Leonard was trying to play it off Hirakawa, and Yu Hirakawa has the chance to deliver here. Offside in the middle. Well, those Millwall fans who are singing in the corner with a fairly lengthy journey back. It's their time for one last chance.
Certainly to a close. They just pull one of them deep balls into the box. Maybe a flick on.
Why not?
It's usually where you see the goalkeeper going and venturing up, but not in this one. There's no point.
No, I'm quite surprised he's not taking the free kick though, but Coyle's going to take it eventually once the referee has had a word with Leonard and Hirakawa. Nothing more than saying Louis Coyle, whilst his backward turn sorting that out, has advanced too far to the halfway line. Coyle with the free kick. Good header by Cooper, Bannon away. And the referee blows his whistle, and it is all square between Hull City and Millwall. Really enjoyable, very close, tight first leg. for on Monday, Lee Hendrick.
Yeah, definitely. I think both sides really levelled themselves out defensively. Defences were on top. Gary Moore had a really good game. The centre of the pitch, tight affair. It makes it even more of a cagey one. In the second leg going to Millwall, they'll make it really difficult for Hull City. I think having the home advantage, you always want to take something as in a goal, but listen, it's wide open, so you can see how close the teams are, and they have been throughout the season.
Yeah, it will all be decided in South East London on Monday as the first leg finishes Hull City 0, Millwall 0.